This video is for board members and anyone who's interested in learning more about our vision and mission. So let's just start with this picture here, Prickly Pear 2019. At this point, I had quit my job for a little over a year and used this as an opportunity to share some of the findings around what we could do given the light of our situation. I talked about a lot of the issues that we currently face. I didn't have the language that we have now around the concept of the polycrisis, which is this combination of all the existential risks that we face, the ecological destruction, the societal dysfunction. Didn't realize that there's a way to talk about them all and all wrapped up into one. Point being that we don't want to pass the buck of the polycrisis on to future generations. We don't want to say, here you go, kids, good luck out there. We know this is going to be an issue that future generations are going to have to face, but we want to do what we can so that way future generations look to us and say, good job, ancestors. You sure were clever. Part of that talk was also sharing this vision of all life thriving in the Sonoran Desert. 1 month after that, in September 2019, Regenerating Sonora was founded. Our mission is nurturing local potential for a resilient and thriving future. So now we're going to break down what all these words mean here. Let's start with regenerating. What does that mean? Well, the definition of regenerate is to form or create again, spiritually reborn or converted, restored to a better, higher, or more worthy state. And this term regenerate is actually really old. There's a Latin form of it, of regenero. And so the concept has been around for quite some time. So that's the one way to parse it out with the definition. But let's look at some other ways to talk about it. This picture here is the famous what is regenerative picture. And this works if I was talking to, let's say, a 6-year-old. I'd say sustainability is about trying to do things less bad. You want to be less bad, be sustainable. And regenerative is trying to make things better than you found it. That's like the 6-year-old version of what regenerative work is all about. If I was talking to someone more technical, then I'd say that it's about tending to the vitality, viability, and evolutionary capabilities of an entity. So what's vitality? What's viability? Vitality is the aliveness or the health of a thing. The viability is being able to be on its own or being able to work successfully. Another aspect about working regeneratively is it's not about problem solving. When you do problem solving, you're trying to fix something, you're trying to arrest disorder, and the solution that you have is boxed in and framed by the problem itself. So instead of problem solving, regenerative work is about realizing potential. So you can acknowledge that there's problems, but you're not trying to solve the problem. You're holding that in mind with the potential for what's possible, and you're actualizing that potential. At the same time, it's about adornment, not embellishment. An adornment is when you are doing something that brings out the true nature or the essence of a thing. It surfaces it more fully. That's an adornment. An embellishment is when you're putting something somewhere that doesn't have anything to do with its true nature or characteristics or essence. And this really applies to people who want to do good. They have a do-good paradigm and they say, I have this great idea and I want to spread it everywhere. It's almost like a colonizing effect where you have something that you think is good and you want to see it everywhere no matter what the context is of that particular place. And so this happens a lot with people who are wanting to do good work. Their intentions are good, but we know that that can sometimes pave the way to hell, right? Because you can essentially just slap something somewhere that has nothing to do with that place's unique characteristics, and we're perpetuating the same problem. So this is why looking at the essence of a place, looking at the essence of any kind of entity is critical to being able to do regenerative work, because it's apprehending that essence that we want to see, to then do work that's going to adorn that essence to bring it out more fully. And you also notice that regenerating, it's a verb, meaning it's an ongoing action. And regenerative work really is an ongoing process. I mean, everything in life is an ongoing process. Nothing is ever fixed or static. Everything is always in flux, as Heraclitus says. And so when we do this work, it's about an ongoing process of development. And that's an important perspective to hold in mind when we're doing this regenerative work. We can say so much more about regenerative work, but this is mainly to talk about the vision and mission of the organization. And we'll probably have other videos to talk more about working regeneratively. So we got regenerating. There's a quick touch on what that all means. Now let's look at the second part, Sonora.